Okay, we are live. I just got to check the audio. I'm not sure if I did it in the correct order. It's a bit of a finicky process. We'll see. Alright. Got it running on my other phone. It sounds like it's working. Excellent. Okay. Alright, it's time to get horses. It's finally stopped raining. That's why there was a big delay in having a horsey playtime live stream going on with Q&A. It's raining all morning, and now it's finally stopped, just barely spitting. So let's get some horses out and play and talk and hang out and have a great day. I'll bring you guys along. Hopefully the microphone works for part of my walk. Going to go. Everybody's pretty chill around here. The horses aren't too excited about anything at the moment, but it's a nice cool day, so hopefully they'll run around some. Yoka's lying down right now. She's so relaxed. Okay, this horse. Come here. This way. Turn a little. Good. Okay, captured my first one. It's Gracie. It's a little chilly today. We've got winter weather. Yesterday was totally miserable with sleet. Arguably the most despised form of precipitation on the planet. All right, horse number one. Supposed to clear up a little bit more today, and then maybe some rain again later. Okay, here, back up for a second. Give her a quick scratchings to create a little draw. And head's too high. Come here. Yeah. This way. Good. All right. That went well. I like it when it's like that. I prefer that over the running off from me business that they sometimes will do. Let's go get Lena. That will make her happy. Come on, Lena. And he's probably saying, how come I got a babysitter? Because it's your job, Lena. This is what you do really well. Gracie's just still a little kid inside. Just run around fucking making noise. All right, there goes Lena, who is probably gonna have a roll. Next horse. 7 in total to bring in. Let's do Annie next. With Mr. Wild's chit-chatting. This is me next. Okay, we've got Annie coming down. Hey, watch out. Annie's excited. She's got a little bit of... Come here. Hello. Hi. Nope. Come here. Calm down. You're very excited. Let's have a pause. Hi. Good. A little bit better. I think she's still going to take off on me a little bit. So I'll just hold for a second. What a goof. Hey, pay attention for a second. All right, you're free. And she's up. Yeah, a lot of energy. Let's get the next wild D into there, since we're already up here. Yes, my friend, I'm coming. He's so excited. Yeah, I am. Okay, come here. He says, let's go, man. Let's do this. Gracie, you're just... Oh. There she comes. Oh, maybe not. It's the stain at the bottom. Watch out for that crazy little filly. She is all over the place. Okay, buddy, go get her, okay? Oh, wait. No, that's not cool. Come here. Can you come down, please? Thank you. Ah, no, that's not it either. Come here. We're up, always down. Still down. I'm just gonna re-halter him for a second. Just ask for a small change in position. Like that. His mind is with Annie, but he's stuck with me. As he knows that when the halter is on. Just wait. Sorry, man, you gotta pick up the right cues for me. Down. Good. Wait. Wait. Alright, you're free. Get out of here. Better. Much better. Right. Actually, I don't need to go this way. I need to go the other way. Let's go get the rest of them. Oh, he's going for a roll. It's so fuzzy. Wow. Good. Fantastic. Watch out, Annie. Here he comes. Kick him. Or run away. Horses everywhere. Next, let's do yoga next. The boys can wait a minute. That'll be fine. Hello, little fluff. You ready to go and tell people what to do? Or horses? No people. Good girl. Excellent. Perfect. Even. It's chilly. I don't know what the temperature is. I think cold. Probably about 2 degrees Celsius. It's just cold. Okay, come here. Where? No, this way. This way. This way. And wait. Alright, you're free. Luke, you're next, buddy. It's the only sort of downside is they're not. I don't need it in your face. Come on. You guys can't hear the horses very well. Stumpy stump. Okay, here's Luke. Wait, no, look, I can already tell you're trying to take off. Just wait. Wait. We're gonna get out of here. Man, everybody's excited. Ronnie's gonna be worse. I think I'm gonna walk him to the top. He is jacked up being last. He's gonna watch Luke take off. It's like, hey, everybody's left. Hi, buddy. Okay, come here. Oh, calm down. You're fine. I know. Life is exciting. Back up, please. Thank you. Good. Calm down, man. Take a breath. Take a breath. Breathe. Wait. Try harder. I gotta wait for Roni to just chill out for a second. Okay. Oh, it's always a good idea to teach horses patience. Not always easy, but it's always a good idea. Okay, let's give Roni a reason not to be dangerous with me. Just walk him up a little bit. What's Luke doing? Giving Annie a hard time. The happiest guy. Oh, I gotta walk up with you. Where did those two leave? Maybe you smell funny. Okay, we're at your rolling spot. You have nowhere really to run to. His eyes are, if you could see them, they're just of concern. But he's got this terrible habit sometimes of, when he's back up, please, you're getting in my way, of just going nuts when he's last. So I like to practice a little bit. We'll wait. Come around me. Come around. Not the safest place to be for 7 horses. Hello, Annie. Hey, Ronnie, watch out. Let me come around. Go this way, please. So I'm just going to be putting Ronnie behind me, not beside me, behind me, and just have him wait a second longer. And watch the horses a little bit from here. A bit better, but he's still kind of jittery. I think when I let him go, he's going to run off a little. Wait. 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 He should blink a couple times, pal. His eyes are just wide open. He's ready to run. He's ready to rock and roll, as they say. I'm just going to put it on his neck. It's going to let him think. Still stay with me. So I always tell people it's a great idea to train your horses about neck reining, or not neck reining, neck haltering. So they know they're still with you. You're with them together. Just continue to talk to them just a smidge. Just doing a little extra with running today. I don't like it when he runs off. But I think he still will. Just maybe not quite as fast. He's dying for a roll though. Wait. Okay, you're free. It's better. Could be better, but it's better. Man, he's rolling. Looking for another roly-poly spot. They love their scratches. Okay, everybody's almost done. One more, I think, and then you'll be up. Big shake. Just told Luke what to do. Interesting dynamics. Why do I have so much of Gracie's attention? Okay. She's asking, not wanting. That's good. All right, let's chit chat. I brought a bunch of questions just in case everybody's a little quiet. Questions. Prepared a few. Stuff everywhere. All right. Okay. Hopefully the microphone wasn't too crackly for everybody there. Let's see. Ooh, hard to see everybody. Yeah, they're all way out there. Zoom in a bit. Ernie's having another roll. He's an itchy guy. Okay, holy smokes, there's a lot of chat to go through. Look at him go. All right, let's say hello to everybody. 20 minutes to do that. Holy smokes. Oh, Ronnie's got some kicks today. That's cool. Good job. Cheryl's here. Hello, Cheryl and Connie and Vicky. Good morning or afternoon, actually. Hello, Missy and Amanda and Ida. Ida, thank you for the Christmas card. Keep forgetting to send out. I don't get the emails too often, but yeah, I was gonna send you an email, but I'll tell you here. Thanks for the Christmas card. Missy's cast the video to her TV and using the phone for chat. Ooh, that's cool. Petra's here. Hello, Petra in the Netherlands. Comedy Ash. Hello. Paul is here. Hello, Paula. Roddy's Rule 78. Hello. Yvette Johnson. Not used to a live chat. This is interesting. My question to you: when you open the horse gate, will they just follow you without a halter? If I were to open the into the arena, sometimes they do, but right now they're just very excited to just be out socializing with each other. It's been a couple days. We had some miserable weather, so it's no good. In some cases they will, for sure. DJ O2's here. Hello. Mr. Petter. Hit that like button, he says. Thanks. Appreciate that as always. Harl CC's here. Happy Sunday to all. Yes, happy Sunday indeed. Tanya's here. Hello. 28 degrees Fahrenheit, is it? Yeah, it's cold. Jim is here. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, most of the world is a Celsius, as Ida says. I think it's something like 95 to 97% of the world knows what Celsius is. The rest is 70% of Americans are only Fahrenheit, and some are hybrids. It's interesting, the metric system and the imperial system, just how it's just two different systems. Amy's here. Happy Chinese New Year. Indeed. Year of the Rabbit. Ellen's here. Hello, Ellen. Mary says it's too far away. I know. It's a wide view, so you catch everything till I was here. Jack's here from UK. Hello. And I've looked through all the chats. Perfect. But we do have quite a lot of people here. We're up to 73 according to the little count. So hello to everybody. Welcome to a little bit of a later live stream than I was hoping for. Terrible weather this morning. It was oh, Jane's here. Hello, Jane. It was borderline sleet this morning, and then just turned to a bit of rain. And then just as I was coming out, it was going to just sort of spitting a little bit, and now it's pretty much gone. So yeah, everybody's out now. 7 horses. There was a little bit of a kerfuffle in the middle there with Roni getting worried about something, but he got himself all sorted out now. He's still looking for another roly-poly spot. Roni's at the front here. So right here, this is Roni. Gracie is going down there. There's Lena. And we've got Yoko in the middle there. Luke on the left because he's darker. Mr. Wild on the right. And then Annie's just coming around at the back there. So we've got all 7 out, and they are loving this wet sand, I guess. Like in the rolling, and Gracie's gone down. It's probably her 3rd roll, maybe. And Roni's still searching for something. I think he's not like they're searching for food. They are all fed. I think it's just the right roly-poly spot he's still searching for. Another one, even though he's absolutely covered in sand. So what are we watching with these guys? It's been very interesting, the dynamics between them all. Luke's got Annie again. He'd like her to hang out. Yep, there he goes. Another roll. Just got to get that right spot, wherever that is. Here comes Luke to give him... No, he's just going to the barrel. Gracie's talking to Annie. She gave a little kick, not a big kick, just a little one with her back left leg. Let's see what they do. Oh, nothing. Nothing. But Annie's following her. Herd behavior is absolutely fascinating to me because it is so important to know it when it comes to playing or working with them or anything. Oh, Yoka's trying to get Mr. Wild's attention. Just cut him off. Nope, not quite. Luke got in the way. It's like narrating a hockey game or something. Luke and Roni playing. Yoka's going over to Luke because he's useful. He'll happily goof around with her. Has Gracie ever made it over? Yes, I've got it on video one time, though she's made it over a few times. I do have that video somewhere. Somebody linked it a long time ago, and I was like, "Ooh, I got to save this, put it in a favorites or something." So, yes, definitely, she's made it over. It is unusual, though. She's not very good at rolling for whatever reason, just poor momentum. It happens. Okay, so let's catch up on a few more things. Orchid Gray's here. Hello. Ellen says, I'm shocked you received Gracie so cheaply. Yeah, free like a puppy. Yeah, I mean, free for a good reason. Hard to work with in many cases, and long-term, what I believe is some long-term sort of trauma or damage that really inhibits her growth compared to other horses. So a lot of people that work with horses, the norm is for them it's tolerable. You know, they can tolerate what a normal horse is, and anything outside of that is intolerable. And Gracie is definitely one of those horses where you're just going, oh boy, this is going to take a while. Really easily set off. Or where's Luke going? What's he going to do? He is definitely, in my opinion, probably the most interesting horse to me. I love the way he kind of works everybody around. He's got his two girls now. Mr. Wild's like, hey, Annie was mine there. Nope, not anymore. Take that. Off he goes with Annie. Yoka follows. He's working on it though. He's a cool horse. He's gonna keep trying. Curling around the back end. He's almost got Annie. Nope. Nope. Oh, Gracie's telling him where to go. And off these two go, just trotting along together. Traveling. And that's actually one of the things that you can do the best with horses, riding or groundwork, is traveling with them. They're traveling with you. Travel together. Lucas come up. It's like, what's up? Luke says, I butt your back leg. Okay, moving on. Ellen seems to like it when the mares tell the boys what to do. Look at these three. I'm actually not the biggest fan of gender bias in horses. Not that I'm not against them, but I try to look at them definitely not as equally as possible. That sounds quite off. Oh, here comes Mr. Wild. But I'm looking at the reasons for a telling off to happen or something. Like, as in, you know, like the comment says, I'm glad the mares tell the geldings what to do. It's never, I'm glad the mares tell the mares what to do. It's always a bias. And I definitely think it's vital to be able to look at the behavior rather than the gender that's behind it. So that's just my opinion. As for Gracie being free, yeah, she was free because of she's wrecked. I mean, had not a very good young life, for sure, that is just sticking with her. And both physically and mentally has slowed her growth as a horse in comparison to say Annie right now. Annie is going to have very regular horse engagement, so socialization. She's have very regular foot care. She's going to have work with humans quite often. She's not going to be left alone because it's too scary. She's not going to not be pushed through problems because she can't handle it, and the human can't handle it because they can't handle it. She's going to continue to get training and education, because an uneducated horse is a dead horse, which is exactly what Gracie would have been. Hence, free. So if you can't believe she was free, then you don't know enough about her. That's probably the best way to put it. And in that case, I haven't done a good enough job of maybe providing enough education on why not only would she be free, but somebody should pay them to take her. Like she's the negative category. It's probably the best way to put it. Or I don't know about it anymore. I mean, she's pretty good now, but still pretty twitchy on some things, and just hard to bring her back to some stuff. So I have a feeling she'll be here forever. Jodell Fields. Hello, you're the best when it comes to horses. Thanks. Josephine says, would you say there's a lead horse in this group? I would. You'll join again when... Okay, no worries. No worries. For the membership. Yep. I mean, it's... Oh, Gracie's yelling. Telling Luke what to do. He doesn't really react to it. There's his butt. She says, I'm still willing to kick out. He's like, yeah, whatever. He doesn't freak out about it. Didn't run off. Didn't totally lose it. But I don't think Gracie's behavior is normal. Like, I don't think that socializing behavior is normal. We don't see it in any other horse. Right? No other horse does what she's doing. It's highly anxious, worried, uncomfortable. Looks like Roni's going to come over and talk to Mr. Wild a little bit. A little beard trimming contest. Or whatever they're doing. Oh, he's moving in. Mr. Wild says, yeah, okay. I'm out. I'll go play with these guys up here. And he's having a drink of water. And Luke's coming over to say, we got to get going. The stinky guy showed up. So, there you go. That's what their conversation is. Has Annie and Mr. Wild ever co-groomed? I do not believe so. Maybe they have. No, probably not. I don't think that's what... Yeah. Some relationships with horses are just like that. And some just never are. It's interesting, actually. It's a great question. Barbara's here from southern Germany. Oh, Ellen says, not a horse gender bias, but compared with people. Yeah. Well... I don't understand what that means then, because then I just think that you like it when girls tell boys what to do. So it's really no anymore. It doesn't matter. Jane says, one of my favorite videos is when Luke is between Yoka and O'Hara. Oh man, that was hilarious. I did that slow-mo one with the music I think you might be referring to. I loved that one. That one was hilarious, because they just kept bugging him and bugging him and bugging him. And I swear there's something on the camera on the left-hand side. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, here they come. Get him, Annie. Teach him a lesson. See, it would be the equivalent of like, I sure like it when the geldings chase the mares around. See, that sounds weird, doesn't it? So to me, it sounds just as weird as I like it when the mares tell the geldings what to do. It's like, well, that's sort of what I mean. Like, I would be more, when this horse gets chased around, when Annie gets chased around, she avoids and defends, but doesn't attack. See, unlike Gracie, who just attacked. I don't like that. So, I like that Annie doesn't attack. I like that she runs and defends rather than then tries to have a fight. So I enjoy that. Enjoy it as in, I like the behavior because it means they're getting along. She's listening to sort of that hierarchy that needs to happen. Otherwise, you turn into a Gracie, where she just comes around and just lashes out. Everybody's like, yeah, well, all right. Just stay a leg length away from her and you'll be fine. Ronnie's coming in. He says, stay away from Lena. Lena's an interesting case. We don't talk about her much because she just sort of stands around a lot. Like, what's with that? I don't really know. And she's quite comfortable just sort of standing around and stretching out, and she needs a co-grooming, she'll sort that out. It's great interactions, a lot of chit-chat. Enjoy that quite a bit. Ida says you work thousands of hours to get Gracie where she is. It does feel like thousands. I don't know if it is, but maybe it is. Yeah, it's a lot. It takes a while to. I think it takes as long as it took to put something in to take something back out, and then you're just starting from zero from there. I don't know if Gracie will ever get over her social anxiety or whatever we want to call it, where she just can't chill out in a group of horses that well. Struggles. It's too much for her. It's overwhelming. I don't know. Sue's here. Hello, Sue. Reading a fascinating book called Mousy Cats and Sheepish Coyotes, a scientific overview of animal personality. Oh, neat. Scientific overview. Orchid Gray says, I love Luke's personality. He's protective and steadfast when he feels the need for it. But most of the time he's just chill and cool with everyone. It seems to kind of bring everyone together in a way. Yep, that's why he's the ambassador. He has always been fantastic for greeting new horses and sort of bringing the energy level of the crowd down, mostly. Sometimes he gets pretty excited, but mostly it's just down. Mr. Wild and Roni are having a little play, a little socialization, which is good. Hopefully Gracie doesn't come over and feel like she needs to sort something out. Nina's... Oh. And he's off. She's free running. Roni with his drive-by. Luke says, stay away from yoga. And it's starting to rain just a little bit more. All right. Something we on this channel take for granted, but far too many people just don't see. Easier to look at, for example, male versus female, rather than recognize that there's a continuum. I mean, it doesn't mean that there isn't influence of gender. So I'm behind that for sure. Amanda says, I've only seen stallions do what Gracie does. It's a very interesting behavior that she's picked up and kept. Nobody else does it. Lena's friendliness helps Gracie. I think that there is... I mean, that wasn't friendly. I don't know if you saw that. Gracie gets too close and Lena says, take off. But there is... it's odd. What is friendliness? We define it. It's an interesting thing. I think it's a mutual need. The times for mutual need are working well between the two of them. And for the most part, I think that Lena just is trying to be an example a little bit. Like, she's really chill, so she's hoping Gracie will get really chill. So now Gracie's super chill now, maybe. Oh man, it's interesting. I don't know. Hola from Mexico. Hola. And Noreen's here from the Sunshine Coast of Australia. Love your channel. Thank you very much. Mustin Horse says, I've heard you say in videos that you reached a point in your horsemanship journey when you decided to work more with wild horses. What do you get from working with them that you don't with domestics? good question. What do I get? What do I get from the wild or feral horses that I don't feel like I get from domestics? I'm not sure if the question is framed correctly for the answer that I would give. I'm not sure if there's something that I don't get, but I think that for me now, I find that there is a preference to not have to take out what somebody else has put in, or some other environment. It's obviously going to be a man-made environment from birth till that point. And a lot of breeders over baby the babies. You see Yoka push those two around. So, a baby is born and they get stuck in a stall for the next 2 months with pine shavings or whatever, and they've got these soft feet, and then their feet grow really terribly because they're supposed to be out on her. So the nurture supersedes the nature of the horse, and in turn sort of messes it up. Gracie's a fantastic example of that. Probably a horse that was over babied and not cared for in a way that a horse should be cared for, or allowed in an environment that a horse should be allowed. She's an Arabian. Arabians are expensive, as people say. I have no concept of that myself. Horse is a horse is a horse. But the more they're stuck in small, tiny, confined spaces, her feet are really messed up for it. It's taken me 4 years to just get to a spot where I think that that they're going to be managed now. I don't have to keep fixing anymore. Just manage them. 4 years in, 4 years out. Same thing. Feet. So what I really prefer about the Mustangs or these feral horses is what I don't have to play with. I know that all horses are completely genuine, so I don't think horses have the ability to sort of be like trickery, have any trickery or any lying per se, or some form of you see it awful lot in some comments or some videos, I suppose, that people complaining, some groups that complain about their horse and their horse is being a jerk or something like that, or being a something. The horses are never really being a something, they're just being what they know. So I don't think that there's a problem with a horse being genuine, but if I were to put it in a way, I find that the feral horses are more genuine. But not in a trickery way, like you're so much more of a horse than a domesticated horse. And so I really, really enjoy working with the clean slate relatively clean slate, depending on how they were captured, I suppose, but you're really only taking out weeks, maybe or months of trouble compared to years of trouble, especially from a young age. Horses that maybe get way too much attention, from the point that they popped out, somebody's rubbing them with a plastic bag and other garbage like that. I can't remember what that's called. What's that called again? Somebody remind me when you can. There's a word for that where they overstimulate babies so that they'll be okay with you. It's absolutely silly. Absolutely silly. So that's probably it. It's not what you get from working with them that you don't with domestics. It's complicated. It's not quite what I don't get. It's what I feel is so much more. I don't know if I'd call it a deeper connection either. Like a better connection, deeper connection is not quite right. Hard to put it to words. It's more pure, maybe is the best way to put it. It's a more pure interaction. You're not trying to get through the walls that they put up for themselves for protection. And instead, you're the one having them put the walls up, whatever walls they are. So it's up to you. So you get to be, I think that it's very fulfilling to be a defining being to an animal that has no experience in the things that you're doing, like riding, right? So. Oh, Tina's here. Hello, Tina. and Julia, and Carolyn. Hello, Carolyn. And Karen's here. How are the horses doing? They're doing great. Smile Every Day 2.0. Hello, y'all. Hello. Nina is Gracie's rock in the surf. In a way, I think so. You know, it's the anchor that sort of grounds her back. She just stands there and waits patiently. So I think that's there. I'm not sure if I'm completely convinced to define it as friendliness. I like the word friendliness, 100%. But I don't think they would encapsulate it in a way that would help us really figure out what that is. Carol's here from South Africa. Second Carol. My son's favorite horse is Baby Gracie. Oh, that's cool. Oh, Amanda was going to ask about Gracie's hooves. It's an interesting... flooding? Ida, is it flooding? No, there's another word when they do it to just babies. Does anybody have it? I'm just going to look quickly. No, nobody's got it yet. There's another word when they do it with babies. Just with babies. Gracie's hooves. Yes, that's an excellent topic. So, when I first got Gracie, just for anybody who isn't up to date on it, I'll just quickly run over it fast. Everybody's super calm. It's starting to rain just a little bit. Just a bit. Just spitting. So, no, it's not desensitizing. There's another word for it, just for babies. Well, it's escaping me. Well, hopefully somebody sorts it out, because I can't remember. So Gracie's feet, she had, when I first got her, she had just mountains of ingrown hoof. Is probably the best way to put it. Back and front feet. When I say ingrown hoof, I'm thinking about the underside mostly, and that has to do with what are called the bars, and they're the underside of the foot. These pieces of hoof wall that are in the middle on each side of the frog, and so just mountains of it. That is just, they can be very, very destructive when not dealt with accordingly, properly, in a timely manner, and it can do serious damage to the underside of the underside of the inside of the hoof. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. Ingrown bars and overlaid bars are all... oh, Gracie just got booted out of the squad. Lena's moving around. Luke and Yoka are having a grooming, and Annie's come in to rub her chin on him. What a guy, eh? What a cool horse. And he's like, hey, stop it. Stop rubbing on me. It's cold. She says, I'm just going to keep rubbing my chin on your bum. Nuts. So, Gracie's, her front feet are completely mismatched. It's called a high-low syndrome. I don't know who defined that word, but it's appropriate. So one foot has very high heels and the other foot has more normal or lower heels. Or one foot can have normal heels and the other can be really, really low and underslung. And most of this just really has to do with trimming. How to trim. You see, Gracie moved away at the end. Did you see that? She left in the end. He won that. Even though she's noisy and kicking out, he still stuck it out and stayed firm, and she had to leave. Now Roni's looking over at him like, hey, how much further are you going to go? Well, I got to sort you out. Even though he's yelling at Gracie too. He's got a lot to say to both sides as he tries to keep Lena chill. And here comes Annie. She's so goofy, it's just adorable. So anyway, so Gracie's feet are much better now. The fronts are a little closer to being balanced, although I don't think they'll ever balance. I think that is just how her inner structure of her foot has grown, and it would be incredibly difficult to put it back to what we would consider normal or have both feet even. So that's the front left. The front right is coming along nicely. I'm quite happy with how it's turned back to being much more normal. Oh, look out, Annie. Notice how she doesn't kick out as much at him as she does Mr. Wild. It's interesting stuff. So her back feet are actually more the primary for the last couple of years. And I've done a bunch of videos on how I booted her, put boots on to see if I could protect the underside, but that was never the solution. I mean, it sort of helped a little bit because it allowed me to sort of chop out a little bit more stuff and make it. If I didn't boot her, I would have done more damage. So it's very common actually to use protection like that. Boots, never shoes, and they protect the whole bottom of the foot. So each stage has done a little bit here and a little bit there. And with constant chit-chats with my veterinarian on how and what's going on. And in the last year or so, though, has made the most progress of trying to deal with what has been just long-term ingrown bar that has clearly done damage to the internal, probably vascular structure, and I would bet the bone structure as well. And over time, I think that is healed up in some way, because we're not seeing the same amount of damage that was in there from the beginning and middle way through. It's been a fascinating journey, to be honest. It's something that he's never encountered, I've never encountered, and sort of just been assessing as we go. And so that's why I think that it's made some progress, as it's showing to be better overall. Ellen says, an Arabian in another channel is terrified of white things from show training, white plastic bags shaking in front of his nose. That sucks. Acclimatizing. That's what it is. Ida, good job. Imprint training. Yes, thank you. Roddy's Rule says, Wildies seem calmer than Mustangs. It does. I don't know. Sorry, I'll get to the imprint thing in a second. But so there's obviously a lot of channels that deal with Mustangs. Tons of them. It's what inspired me to go look around to see what we've got in Canada. And all the time, I don't watch them anymore. I don't watch any of the channels anymore because I don't like what's being done. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to criticize anybody. I'm not going to talk about anybody in particular. But I'm not a fan of what's being done. And I think that there is a difference in the human behavior on those channels and here. And not to say that our horses here aren't a little calmer. I think that they do have a little bit more calmness or sense to them. Luke's in trouble. I mean, you can see that in the background. Because sorting a little bit out. Those three are the most hilarious. Love watching them. And but it's still from that point. It's still the chasing around in the round pen. It's still the using big sticks. It's still so many human behaviors that drive these horses to continue to be scared. Like it's just a continuation. Just training methodologies that are passed down and passed down and passed down. And people make more videos and they get passed down even more. And we just get this continuation of the same thing, different channel. Or same thing, different clinician. Instead of growth. And there is growth. There is growth. I'm not going to say nobody's doing different. Finally changing a way of working with things from constant drive to working on being a friend. I had somebody actually pop in just recently, criticized a video that was highly successful, no problems. It was just calm, just working on that idea of being calm and letting the horse sort of sort things out in a bit of time and a little bit of patience. And they said, this is just the way to not train a horse. What's happening? Oh, Annie made it. She's ahead. She got around. Luke let her. He's still trying to figure something out with her. Oh, he's let off. He's gone over to Roni. Mr. Wild's got his spot to get in. Gracie tells Annie where to go. If I didn't know better, I think Mr. Wild's going to come up the arena. Oh, no, Lena. Not Lena, but Annie's left. And then Luke's going to play with Roni. I love it when those two play. Sometimes I just put those two out and just hang out with them and be friends. It's lovely. Just the best buddies for so long. I mean, they've been around since this place was born, and they were here before the arena was even here. So anyways, so are the feral or wildy horses here calmer than Mustangs? Yeah, I think naturally they are, but the nature nurture conversation is very important in that as well. Just to sort of conclude that for now. Imprint training, yes. The idea that baby horses should be imprinted is terrible. I think it should be completely stopped. And nobody should support that. Imprint training is harmful. And Warwick Schiller did a great video on that, on how he released some imprint training, the stress of imprint training. And it was a fantastic video. Everybody should watch it. Because what he did is I'll tell you what it did actually, and this will encourage you to watch it. But 100% agree with this. There was some imprint training done on a baby, and he felt, for some reason I'm not going to say whether he assessed this correctly or not, I expect he did, that this foal had held that imprint training in, because essentially imprint training is where you take a baby horse and you pin it down and you do all kinds of stuff with it. Well, that's not how horses' brains work. When they do get pinned down, they usually think they're going to die. And so even if you do all that imprinting, as friendly as the person would like to think that they are, they aren't. The horse doesn't perceive it that way. They're horses. They're not humans. You don't get to do that. You don't even get to do that to a human. Nobody would do that to a human baby. Like, your baby popped out. The doctor's like, okay, we're just going to hand it over to the plastic bag lady, and she's going to pin your baby down and rub your baby with a piece of plastic for a little while. Is that cool? And you're like, yeah, imprint training is cool. I really want my baby to like me. So can you please do that? Nobody says that. Nobody does that with a human. Why would you do it with a horse? Get her, Luke. Look at how soft he gets, and she just sort of says, yeah, okay, let's go. He's like, yeah, I'll go with you. It's a great partnership. This is Gracie. Somebody like me. Like me now. Everybody get away. This is my calico horse. Horses' colors are not calico. Anyway, so he takes this baby, and it's still small enough, and he holds it. And he holds it tight until the baby struggles, and he lets go immediately. And the baby takes off. And his idea is that, she's now, or I think it was a she, the horse had now been allowed to get the response that it should get when it struggles, and to release sort of that stress, release that possibly pent up energy. I'm not really sure exactly. I'm not going to try to define it perfectly here, but I do think that it's important that we do not ever, you wouldn't do it to an adult horse. You shouldn't do it to an adult horse. So there's no reason to do it to a baby. There's no reason. Annie has never, this is Annie, right here. Annie has never had imprint training, but she is the cuddliest little love bug you can imagine. She's come from some range from somewhere. Nobody imprint trained her, and she's fantastic, right? She came here. I was quite quickly able to get rid of all of her ticks, which were gross, by the way. Ugh. It's the one thing that I'm just not. Uh-oh. Gracie's in trouble. She's not sure what to do. Time makes her better. Usually the longer she's in the arena, the more she sort of gets reminded of what socializing is. It's weird. No imprint training. So I'm 100% against it. I really like what Warwick did. I think everybody should just take a look at that and, critically think it through. I'm sure not everything was perfect, but it was an idea that I think is sound. Does it have an effect? I'm not sure, but we'd hope it would. At the very least, it maybe had taken out that experience of being imprinted, to be like, well, when I fight, when I try to get away from something and I succeed, that's a really good thing. It's a good thing for the mind. We all want to be able to escape hard, adverse times, situations that we feel very uncomfortable in. If we can't leave, that sticks with us. Take for example, say something simple like you went to a concert and you were down on the floor, and it's, you know, a good song comes on or whatever, and everybody stands up and you're getting squished and mushed and everything, and you can't leave. You can't get out. You're getting squished. It's uncomfortable. You're starting to yell out. Nobody can hear you, and you just want to get out of there, but you can't because there's too many people. And you just have to wait for that stupid song to end for you to finally be like, and then you leave, right? You know, you get out and you go to the bathroom and you just, maybe you get in your car and just go home. Who knows? But that experience would never be good. It wouldn't have taught you anything. It'd be like concert. Oh, she bit him on the butt. Poor guy. Look at Gracie. What is she doing? Why does she do? I don't have any answers, so if anybody asks me, like, what's with that? I don't know. It's weird. Okay, moving on. So that's enough about imprinting, I guess. Holy smokes, went on forever. Maudie coddling. No, imprinting is different. Imprinting is where they overwhelm flooding. Actually, imprinting is just baby flooding. Mollycoddling, I think, sounds more like you just pet them an awful lot or something like that and be too kind. Maureen's here. Hello, Maureen. Bomb-proof or tactile conditioning, flooding. Yeah, it almost never works for horses. Imprinting was correct. Thanks, Natalie. Virginia's here. Hello. Imprinting or imprinting is the only thing I could find regarding rubbing. Yes, yeah. Okay, so I read the whole thing. Yeah, we're all good now. Thanks, everybody. Smile Every Day 2.0 says, my kiddo and I watch your videos all the time. He loves them. That's fantastic. Mustang horse sent over 2 pounds. Thank you. You're welcome for the answer, of course. Virginia says, I noticed that too. The Mustang that was here was much less accepting of my efforts than Mr. Wilder or Little Miss. Yes, that Mustang. Oh, great. Oh, what's this? Thank you, Marie. Very kind of you. Great. Virginia, yeah, I don't know if anybody has seen, there was a Mustang here a while back. That horse had been properly ruined. Boy, the stories I could tell that I know, I suppose, but it took a long time. But I never put that horse out of control. There was never a scene where that horse was just trying to crash through a fence or climb over a fence or any of these things. And I think that lack of sensitivity is prevalent in plenty of the Mustang training world. Not all, so please don't take this as a huge criticism of anybody in particular, but a lack of sensitivity to the sensitivity that they have right from the get-go. If you have that, I believe that you can make exponential leaps and bounds by communicating correctly. It would go a million miles farther than just using drive. Look at Luke and Annie. Look at a couple of goofs. So the Mustang that was here, it came here from pretty poor conditions. The lady that owned her had done a very terrible job of doing anything with her. The previous person had tried really hard, but had got her to something, but then she was just taking over somebody who would tie her up and force saddle her and then put bells on her, and she would just be standing there sweating, supposedly. That's what I've heard. Standing there sweating, not sure what to do with herself. She was a very gentle horse, though. She was very gentle. She never kind of indicated that she wanted to dish out any pain. She'd defend herself, but it wasn't, I mean, I don't think there's any horses out there that are malicious or looking to really be mean per se, unless those that have been really truly abused. Yeah, those ones for sure. But this horse, I just felt sad for her. I just always felt just sad that she was so traumatized that the mere appearance of a human had her on such high alert. She's been put into her survival mechanism so many times that that's all she knew to do, instead of being in a more calm or nurtured, a feeling of being nurtured and cared for response. And you can see that in many horses, many domesticated horses. I see them and I just think, oh, somebody has ingrained it in you a little bit too much. Actually, way too much, mostly. But sometimes it's just subtle. You just have to figure out how to be a friend, make a friend, or be a friend to them. So, yes, that Mustang had a very hard time. And she was here for a couple of months, and the owner was impatient. She says, I really needed you to be able to ride her. And I said, she wasn't ready. She's been taken so far backwards. It took me 2 weeks just to get a halter off, and I think another week to get a halter on. And even then, it wasn't very good. So I essentially spent a month just working on getting a halter figured out for her. So that put us way behind on the schedule of this idea of riding. And you really couldn't get that close to her anyways, because she'd already been, I guess we could almost call it imprinting of an older horse. Flooding is usually incredibly destructive. Okay. Gwynillian London is here. Hello. If you can train a horse not to nip from the stable door, for example, can you also train it not to react to passing horses, not just people? Well, you take it out of the stable. Most horses that are stuck in stables are going crazy. It'd be the equivalent of you being put into a closet and just the top is open so you can look at the world going around, and everybody that goes by you has got something for somebody else or is going somewhere where you'd rather be, and they just go crazy. Can you train them not to bite people? I'm highly doubtful. Look at Mr. Wild work Gracie. He's getting good. He's getting good. I hope she comes around to him a bit. I hope she starts to see him as somebody that she could watch and learn from. She's a good looking horse though, isn't she? Horses that nip at doors and nip at other horses that go by are just going nuts inside. Internally, they're really struggling and they just have no outlet, in my opinion. If they're probably hungry, most horses that are stabled are not fed properly. I'm not saying I know anything about this particular horse or the situation. Look at him just stand there. Just a nice, tough guy. Oh, he's going to have a poop. Says, I poop near you. Take that, sucker. Gracie's like, what? Even Roni's like, this is not a pooping spot. Poop somewhere else. Such a tough guy, eh? He's not going to tolerate Gracie. Just perfection in his movements. Worth observing. Everybody's stuck in the corner now with Lena. She'll leave when she wants to leave, though. I don't. She won't have any trouble just wandering off. Everybody will go with her. So, yeah. How do you train the nipping out of a horse, people, and other horses? Feed it. Socialize it. Get it out of this. Sorry, I just gotta say, just gotta get it out of the stall. So I don't think it's gonna work. That's all. I don't know how you train them. I have no concept of how you'd train a horse that's going nuts in a small space. That's all. Let's see. Paula says, what happened to the blue barrel that's in the middle? It's a great question. That's a science question. It's cold out. That's your clue. See if anybody sorts that out. It's cold out right now. Oh, Marie left. She couldn't stay. Donna's here. Hello, Donna. Sue's here. Poison Sumk. Sue. Cheryl says it looks like Mr. Wild's on the outs. He doesn't have a friend. Depends on the crew that's together in here. If it's just the boys, he's got friends. If the girls are in here, then it's a different story and they herd up differently. Different groups of herding. So he has friends, just not quite when there's the girls in, or depends on the dynamic of the herd. He's sort of like, yeah. Oh, Lena told Gracie where to go. She's like, you're freaking me out. Get away from me. Donna says, do you agree with pressure and release training? Yes, I do. Do you want me to get into that? Because I can. And when will Annie have her first heat? She's already had it. She's long had it. Maureen says that was an interesting video by Warwick. Yes, it was. Missy says that's a terrible comment, and someone who is not open-minded to as anything other than what has been doing taught. Oh, you might have been referring to that comment about the video that I put up. Maybe. Hopefully. If not, let me know, Missy. Party's Rule says, how do we get a wildie in the States? Well, you, I don't know what it takes to get a horse in the States. I know you got to do a Coggins test. You probably have to do a vet check. And then whatever else the border wants. Other than that, I don't think you have to do anything. Yeah, sorry, I flipped past it quickly, Bonnie. Hello. But yeah, Annie's had her first heat a while ago. Horses can get pregnant by 1 year old. So she's had her first heat here too, or the first heat that I've seen her have. Appear to have. It wasn't that long ago, actually. So I guess I'm really too far down the comments. So that's how you might get a wildie. Yeah, part of infant training, right, Missy? That'd be hilarious. How is Annie's relationship with Lena going? I don't know. I think it's okay. But she gets so busy with the boys, Luke. Oh, these three are fun. Just goofballs running around. And Gracie's kicking up a storm. Here comes Annie. Oh, Lena's moving around. I guess Yoka told her to get shuffling and do something. The boys are playing in the back. We got Luke and Roni in the back. Gracie's trying to yell at somebody. Lena's moving. Gracie's running interference. Usually not for Roni, though. Usually she doesn't tell him where to go. And back up to the front for these two. What an interesting day today. Horse behaviors are fascinating today. This is awesome. Everybody's super soaking wet. Money. Oh, move it, Annie. Watch out. Surrounded by friends that can hurt her. The best way to put it. Okay. Humans did do something like that. It was called swaddling. The baby was wrapped up cocoon-like. Last I heard was Romania orphanage back 20-30 years. Nope, swaddling is a very, very common thing to still do to this day. It's not to induce fear, though. Swaddling is a little bit different and is said to calm babies down. But swaddling is very common, where you wrap them up really super tight. Yeah, they're all moving. I made an assumption that it was a good thing because whenever we did it, it worked. I did it. It wasn't for fear, though. It was just warmth and comfort, and you would hold them. You would hold them with care and love. Roni's got a lot of kicks today. He's active. And he's stuck in the middle of Yoka and Luke. It's good stuff today. Good stuff. So, yeah, swaddling is a bit different. It's still done. Still done often and highly recommended. Curious about Annie's ticks you started talking about. All right. I can talk about that. Most wildies come with ticks. Let's see. I don't think Mr. Wild had any. And who else came here? I guess Little Miss came here straight from the wild as well. She didn't have any ticks, but Annie was full of them. She had, I think I removed at least 20. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's one thing that sort of, Luke's got to say, stop trying to kick me. Let me play. She says, yeah, okay. I'll come back in front and you can nip on my legs. Oh, one last reminder, says Luke. And he knows that he's not going to kick. Stays pretty chill about it. So, yeah, tons of ticks. They're everywhere. Not around here. We don't have any ticks around here, but they're in the wild. They're all over the place. So they carry them and they bring them when you have them, and you have to eradicate them. Otherwise, the other horses will get them. So I spent a long time sort of getting rid of those ticks. And I think that's what maybe helped us become good friends, because she's like, finally, these little bugs aren't chewing on me. Ellen says, did the pin down imprinting create a horse that resists? I think the idea is that it creates a horse that won't resist. That's what people want. They want a horse that will not resist humans touching them. So they immediately put that in them, that if you resist, I will continue to pin you down until you stop resisting. And a lot of people have used that in the long past with big horses. They'd pin them down, tarp them, and some would deal out a bit of damage here and there. It's disgusting horse training techniques. And for some reason, some of the breeders out there thought this is a great idea. I'll do that too, and swear by it. But it is destructive and bad and shouldn't be done. Did anyone see Yoka push Annie off of their backside? Yeah. Oh, Kathy's here. Hello, Kathy. KK Doc. Lindy says, hello, Lindy. I so love the session showing Annie and Yoka. Yoka's a master communicator, and she never stops talking. Horses actually almost never stop talking at all. Yeah. Yeah, everyone's going to smell the poop now. What are they doing with that poop? Are they mashing it around a bit? Okay, go do something else. These weirdos, not going to have to clean that up. I think I'll have to go get the rake and go away. Go. It's already a big enough mess. Get out of here. I don't even know where there's a wheelbarrow. Where did I put them all? Ah, at the back. Annie, go away. It's a mess enough as it is. Okay, just give me a second while I clean up. Oh, hello, Luke. Come here. Hi, buddy. Oh, he's all sweaty. I wonder where the term mollycoddling came from. Such an interesting saying. Oh, so much to always clean up. Okay, messy horses. It was good to keep the arena relatively clean. Over time, it's pretty messy. I've seen some arenas that are just gross. Like this way to put it. Yuck. This is sand, so it's easier. The bark mulch or hog fuel arenas are truly gross. Highly recommend not having that as an arena footing. Yeah, so that Mustang that was here was a pretty cool horse, and there was a couple of points in her life here where she sort of seemed to have a bit of an epiphany, and I was able to make some really nice progress. And then she was finally able to go and hang out with all the other horses, and she didn't have any ticks or lice. Lice is another really common thing that come from that wild, and that's not good. You don't want horses socializing that have ticks. They're not necessarily expensive to get rid of, but they're a real pain. And it takes a lot of time. You've got to try to kill the ticks, and then I hate it when they do this. Just grind it into my poor arena. Okay, that's better. A little bit more and I'll be done. Yeah, but you gotta treat ticks twice. And so, and 2 weeks apart, like that. So once you treat them one time, it'll kill off a lot of ticks, and then you wait for all the eggs that were on there to hatch. Kill them again. And then no more ticks. I'm not sure, but I believe lice are not, or sorry, that was for lice, but I think ticks are the same as well. So maybe they're applied anyways. Same with worms. Worms are the same thing. Gotta do 2. What was the camera focused on this whole time? Oh, the horses. That's good. Michelle's here. Hello, Michelle. Little C. Other than yourself, does Mr. Wild have a good friend? Oh, yes, of course. Ronnie's a good friend. Luke's a good friend. Yoka's been a good friend. Not Lena or Gracie, though. Yeah, and he's puts up with them, I suppose. Christy's here from Florida. Dagmar's here from Germany. Hello. Maya was sometimes friends with them. Little Miss, yeah. Yes, the video comment. All right, thanks, Missy. Emily says, I'm glad you're back. I've been pining for new content. Just about caught up with all of your videos. You can't possibly have watched all of them. There are so many. It's silly. But that's cool. Yes, back for a live stream. I'll definitely be putting out more stuff soon. In fact, I have a fantastic project that I absolutely cannot wait to tell you guys about, coming incredibly soon. I'm just waiting to do just a little bit more. I think that you guys are going to like it. Or one of them. Donna says, yes, please explain pressure and release further. I'm keen to learn how to develop a better relationship with my horse and be a better horseman. Would love your opinion and advice. So, pressure and release is exactly what you see with horses. The reason I think that pressure and release is an effective way, although plenty of times oversimplified in some of the ways that is shown online, it's an effective way because it's what horses understand. Look at these 3. They just wander off together like cute little herd that they are. Luke with his short girls, they're both shorter than him, so it's like, this is cool. Oh, smashy smash. Anybody figure out why the barrel is indented like that? And it's not because of him. It's a science. What is he doing? It's a science question. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Pressure and release is important because horses do it with themselves all the time. You watch them as they kick, or they use their ears, or they use their body. They drive upon another horse, and that horse does something. Now, the unfortunate thing is most horse training is like, I want my horse to do something, so do something. And what we end up seeing with more high-level horses that are getting along better, I don't know, high level is a great way to put it, but we get more of a back and forth of drive and draw. And that is what is the best. So pressure and release really only concentrates on drive and release of drive. So pressure, release of pressure. But it rarely, because it doesn't encapsulate all all horse behaviors, or horse influence on another horse. Oh, there's a squirrel coming, and Mr. Wild was following it up to the top, and now he's run off. It's a little squirrel, you guys can see. There he goes. In case anybody cares about a squirrel. He was following it up the fence line. That was hilarious. Here they come. Everybody has to move. He's in between the two boys. Nina's moving over. Back to Luke for safety. He says no problem. I'll make sure that's sorted out, which he does. And everybody chills out again. So pressure and release is good because we see that happen all the time. But you see the draw between these two? How when she walks up and Luke says, hey, what's up? And she says, well, I'm coming up to come hang out with you. And so I think that that is really, really important and missing in regards to horse training. So while pressure and release is effective, it is the beginning and not the end. If somebody is still using pressure and release on a horse past a very short time, in my opinion now, I think, then the relationship or the back and forth communication isn't back and forth properly. Man, these two just have so much energy. Always running around. Oh, what's he gonna do? And he's made it out. Turn, come back the other way. He's got her in the corner now. He doesn't kick her. He lets her go by. Nice. It's a good relationship. Yeah. Looks a little troublesome, but it's good. Gracie. So I think that pressure and release is vital. So yes, the answer is yes, I do think it's good, as you asked before. And then why? The reason is why is because that's what horses know. But they very quickly turn to draw. They very quickly turn to, can you communicate to me in a way that we can kind of go back and forth a little bit? And that's a little bit, it's quite deep. You're not going to see a lot of ranch and done in this way, for example. Not to say that there isn't great relationships created out there. I'm not going to try to place any judgments, but you're not going to see a lot of, we need to go after this cow. Is it okay, horse, that we go after this cow? And what do you think? Is it fine? How does your energy, you're never going to see that. And that's fine for whatever it's for. But it's what I do. I personally do with all my horses, and especially my wildies, where I'll be talking and saying, look, I need you really to check in with me. This is so important that I'm willing to put pressure on you. That's how important it is. So I guess if we think about it, the mentality of like, I need you to listen. It's really, really important. Sorry that I have to resort to, some kind of form of pressure, whether it's swinging a rope or sort of taking a large step or yelling or whatever it is. It's pressure based. Sorry I have to resort to this, but it's so important to me. And sooner or later, the horses kind of say, what's important to you again? And you'd be like, well, this is. And that's where you'd not have pressure when you go to teach your thing. You wouldn't be using pressure to teach that thing the next time. So the idea is to get away from pressure and release, but it always does exist. And it's not a bad thing. Sometimes it can be. So it's sort of case by case, but you're looking to create draw. Holy, Gracie's so jittery. It's kind of good that she's out socializing. It's nice that somebody else is going to train her. Some other horse will just train her to be quiet. See, Roni placed pressure. Pressure by raising his head, by turning his hip. That's pressure. And then he released it all. He's like, hey, Lena, what's up? He just, when he got what he wanted, everything comes down, everything goes away. So I hope that makes sense. Sue says they kept, okay, so we're back to babies being swaddled, I guess. Kept them a long time, left them with just a bottle. Babies were touch deprived. Yeah, that just never happened. Swaddling includes includes being around. Yeah, so as Missy says, the idea is that I'm not sure. I guess I'm gonna just take this for I wasn't adding this into my own part, but yeah, as something that I know, they don't startle while sleeping. It also provides comfort as it gives a sensation of being in the womb. Yeah, that's the theory, you know, and so far, yeah, it's coming along, you know, that idea and that theory and the effects that it has. Ooh, he's going to make a move into that group. Is he going to make it? Oh, there goes Yoka. She says no. So he comes around to try to peel Annie out, which he does. Look at him just doing circles around Yoko and Luke. I've had horses do this, where I go to get him and they just do circles around some other horse, and then I have to move the horse that's in the way. It's a fire truck coming. Maybe more than one. Maybe 2 fire trucks. That must be an emergency somewhere. Obviously. Kathy says her condo in Florida has got to be rebuilt. Yeah, that was some crazy storm that came in. That was nuts. I can't believe it. I'm sorry to hear that. Ellen says it's terrible to treat horses with fear. I agree. So that's where pressure and release, actually, that's a good point. The pressure and release concept is not to introduce and keep in fear. If you put the fear in, actually, okay, so I'll just cover this one more little bit. When working with pressure and release, by using pressure, you're actually using a little bit of fear, concern, or worry. And it is really important to take it back out. So if you've done that, and they've done of you as you've asked, even if it's something as simple as a horse biting. So a question that came previous, how do you get a horse to stop biting over a stall? Is I don't have an answer quite for that. But if I were to ask a horse to not bite me, and they don't bite me, I then say thank you. I don't leave them as in, good, you reacted to me getting mad at you. I react, good, you reacted in a way that was appropriate to keep me safe, and that really means a lot to me. Thank you. So the pressure and release must come with relief. Pressure, release, relief, maybe. I don't know. Can I coin that? Let's coin that today. Reassurance. Pressure, release, reassurance. Usually is what I usually say. Relief sounds good too, though. Oh, Gwenillian says it's this video I saw recently. How it got that way, yeah. Well, horses that are stalled usually end up going nuts. Usually they're hungry, and usually they're bored, and usually they're just watching other things go by, and they just want to make a difference of some sorts, to release some energy of some sorts. Everybody's laughing because Annie added to the pile of poo. Thanks, guys. Coddling refers to the way we partially cook eggs, and Molly is a nickname for Mary. So according to Merriam's dictionary, so I guess someone named Mary was overprotected. Thank you for looking that up. Coddling refers to the way we partially cook eggs. See, you never know what you're going to learn on this channel. Thank you for everybody for being here. I hope that you picked that up. And if you've got anything out of this video, it's got that coddling is a way you can cook an egg. And Molly is a nickname for Mary. That I also did not know. Oh, here we are. Ellen says in modern uses, however, those old connotations are largely lost. The word usually functions as a verb meaning to be overprotective or overindulgent toward. Yes. Molly coddling. Oh, yeah. Formerly an overprotected man who's considered effeminate by being too protected. Really? Huh. Interesting. Oh, Rebecca's here from Vegas. Swaddling seems a principle followed in weighted adult calming blankets. Yeah, I agree with that. There is a, you know, something to be said by having heavy blankets on your bed or sheets in really tight. You just sort of feel secure, I guess, or yeah. I think that it's a real natural feeling. Not that I do it often or at all, really, but I remember it as a kid, or I remember it in certain situations, and I never felt claustrophobic or uncomfortable. Man, here comes another fire truck. Something happened somewhere, just down the road. All right, Maureen figured it out. The barrel is compressed because it's sealed. That's correct. That is correct. Good for you. It's no different than a pickle jar. If you buy a pickle jar, oh man, we're just going into science now. We got away from horses because they're all just standing around anyways. You buy a pickle jar and you put it in the fridge. You get home and you're like, I'll put this in the fridge. I like my pickles cold. Before opening it, you'll have a harder time opening it. Same reason. Atmospheric pressure difference. There you go. Ice in the barrel? I don't think there's any ice in the barrel. Shouldn't be. I don't think there's any moisture in there. Might be. It's not really that cold, so I doubt it. Does the barrel have a lid on changing air pressure water? Yes, Lindy's got it as well. Plastic constricting due to cold. No. Yes. So, there we go. Good job, you guys. That was really good. I love science questions. I take the neighbors' kids to schools, and we're on the ride to school. We do random science stuff, and they love it. The girls love it. I had one of them say to me, she says, "You know, you're so much more interesting than my teacher. We talk about stuff that's just kind of fun." We were talking about rainbows one time, and the splitting of the light waves and why it creates a rainbow and what is a rainbow, and it's the individual light waves of light itself. Add them all up to what did they become, you know, that kind of thing. So it's just fascinating stuff. Atmosphere, we talked about being on the moon. Like if you were on the moon and you brought a vacuum with you, do you think you could vacuum up moon dust? You know, stuff like that. It's fascinating, just really cool things. So I'm really glad we were able to get into a bit of sciencey stuff. Does Lena usually tilt her ears to a 3/4 back position? It's sort of a resting spot for her, I think. Kind of a bit floppy. Sometimes she's just yelling at somebody. Ellen says, so in pressure you become a fair leader. Fair being a subjective word, I would agree with fair, but I think what it means is that you're thankful. It's important to be thankful for the result that you get, because unfortunately a lot of people feel like they're dishing out punishment for certain things. Like, for example, the best example I always give is when a horse is trying to bite or kick you, and you get defensive and you want to lash out. A lot of people will hit a horse after they bit. Maybe they didn't get bit, but they still hit the horse anyways. And they dish out some punishment. So the problem with that is if you've done it after they've bitten, you're late. You missed all the signs. You're late. You might as well not even hit them. If you get bit, there's very little that you can do. You have to catch it before it happens. So the idea being that you can sort of chase them out. I've seen, obviously, when a lower horse bites or kicks a higher horse, the higher horse will chase them off and sort of sort them out a little bit. But they don't do it very much. They don't go about chasing them down and squishing them into the ground. They usually just kind of yell at them and the other horse leaves, and then that's that. So you get, if you want to call that a fair leader, then you would call that a fair leader. It would call a response to an action that gets a reaction that's appropriate for what was asked of it. So if you get bit, you say to the horse, get away from me. The horse gets away from you. In my opinion, as a more higher thinker than a horse, in my opinion, let's say that, I would say, thank you for getting away from me after biting me. Yeah? Because they listened to the thing that you told them to do. Even though what they did was bad, obviously, we don't want to get bitten, but they bit for a reason anyways. You missed that. You missed that they were going to bite you. You missed all the communication before that. So it's kind of your fault. Like, what were you doing to make that horse bite you? Why was the horse defensive? Why did it feel probably fear that says, I gotta protect my life a little bit? That's what we want to look at. So, whatever that's worth. So that's a fair leader. Thank you for the detailed answer. You're welcome, Donna. I will try that and hope that the draw comes from her wanting to come to me and chill out. Yeah. Okay, so you're going to get draw by being welcoming after doing a thing and getting an appropriate reaction. So a horse wants peace and quiet. All horses want peace and quiet. If they can find peace and quiet with you, they'll hang out with you till the cows come home, and then they'll chase them down and we'll wrangle them up and bring them on into the barn and stuff. But the point is that you can introduce a non-peaceful environment using drive. And if you can tell them, I will consistently offer a peaceful environment, a way for you to be quiet and a way for you to be happy. But you got to listen to me. And that sounds, the way I word it out doesn't sound very good, but it's kind of like that. So, for example, if we take a look at Lena and Gracie, Gracie can stand there as long as Lena says that it's cool to do that. We've seen her chase off Gracie. So she's told Gracie, calm down, be quiet, don't kick around, don't do anything, just stand there. And Gracie's like, okay, well, that's what I'll do, and then we'll both be peaceful together. And it works. Man, Lena's talking a lot. She doesn't have Luke to herself for some co-groomings. She's not even bothering. Just chilling out like a normal horse. The other guys are wingnuts running around. Missy says, my daughter's name is Molly. I think I knew that. That's cool. Was Gracie stabled for a while before you got her? Did I remember that correctly? Yes, she was stabled incessantly before I got her for 4 years. Nipping is a form of engaging. If you engage with them, it might go away. Nope. Oh, Emily, thank you very much. Very kind of you. Straight to the hay bale for me. Very much appreciated. Thank you, Emily. Dagmar says, nipping is a form of engaging. I know Warwick has taught that. I get that. I've seen that video. Gosh, it's situation dependent. I would say for the beginner or people new to horses, don't tolerate any nipping whatsoever. It's wait a little longer to sort that out a bit better. It is a form of engaging, obviously. Yes, but is it a positive or negative engagement? Is it a desirable or undesirable engagement? That's person dependent. So, for example, actually, let's get into this just a smidge. I'm running a little low on time. We got a little bit more. But take Mr. Wild. He's constantly sort of bugging me on my jacket, right? We've seen that. I've done videos of it. He kind of nips. I mean, the previous comment was about biting somebody as they go by or biting another horse. That type of engagement, yes, it's engagement, but it's negative and terrible and not a good idea. It's dangerous. Where I'm standing next to him, we're both kind of peaceful, and he's sort of just lightly sort of nipping at my jacket. That's different. And to that, I see it is a fine line to walk where you accept that horse's nipping, where you say, okay, you can play with my jacket just a little bit. It's like watching him and Roni, but we both know. And if Roni says he's had enough, then he'd better listen. So going to accept nipping, light nibbling with their lips, not teeth. Teeth are never acceptable. Don't ever accept it. Lips, you can play with it. If you're going to take this road, if you're going to break the rule, which I recommend for now, don't, but if you're going to, then practice stopping it. Like practice encouraging it. I mean, just looking at these two, you know that Luke's going to win this. If he's had enough, what is Gracie doing? Why has she got to interrupt? They're just having fun. But you know that Luke is going to say, I've had enough. So what I would say to that is, I highly recommend you, if you're going to do this, break the rule, you practice stopping the behavior as much as a little bit more than what you are of accepting of it. So you can accept it, do it a little, even if you're having fun, practice stopping it. Say, hey, that's enough. And make sure that they stop and be quiet. And then you can encourage it back by playing with them again. So you can nip them, they'll nip back, you nip them, they nip with your fingers, not your mouth, obviously. And it can be fun. So, yeah, a form of engaging. If you engage with them, it might go away, was the second statement. Nope, actually, if you engage with them, you will probably encourage it. I'd say 95% of the time, you'll just encourage them to continue to do it. You really have to be clear with the communication. If you don't want it to happen, say no. Get no to mean something. And if no doesn't work, if your words no don't work, then you need to clap or get big or make a noise or do something that says no. Have your words mean something, though. I think horses can learn vocal commands, especially basic ones like no or a tone of voice, that kind of thing. So there you go. And yes, thank you. Oh, I just saw your second comment to help with hay prices. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It does. Ice would have expanded one area. I didn't know the barrel was sealed. Yeah, it's a totally closed off barrel. I think I mentioned that from the beginning, but maybe not. Anna says, hello, Anna from Sweden. Thank you for all your good work. Love from Sweden. Emily says, do you know what your future plans are for Annie? I do not quite, other than she will sell one day. I won't keep her. She'll go be a good friend to somebody, and somebody will hopefully be a good friend to her. Look at Luke and Roni. He's just kind of getting him on his jaw. Oh, it stopped. It's going to tell Annie where to go. A little bit. Yes, I don't plan on keeping her. I plan on making sure she's doing really well with her groundwork and all that, and then I will put her up for sale to hopefully somebody who will really, really like and enjoy her. Because it'll be a long time before I would ride her. And I think she needs more variety in her world. I can take her places and do things, but having more people and more different types of people and practice and stuff, I think is really important. So I think for her life, that's what will probably happen. Ellen says, read the fair leader, like the boss horse showing don't and then relaxes when behavior stops. Yeah, I think that's about accurate. Paula says, did Gracie ever have a chance to have a gallop before she came to you? Well, Paula, I think that I would be hard pressed to know that because it was before she came to me. Sorry, I don't know another way to put it. Like I don't recall ever asking that question or have anybody suggested to me when I went to go get her from the ladies. Nobody pointed out that she had a good gallop before I had arrived or in her life. So I would say probably. I don't know. Good question, I guess. Ever put a weighted blanket on Gracie? No. No. I put saddles on her. I put normal blankets on her. Actually, no. The only time I blanketed her was one time she was cold because Peggy had kicked her out of the shelter. And when I went down to do my regular horsey checks that I do all day long, she was standing out in the sleet or wet. I think it was a wet snow. And she was slightly shivering. I'm like, oh, jeez, Peggy, you jerk. You got to let her eat. And so I had fleece blanketed her. I blanketed her. I put a blanket on that was mostly fleece to suck up the moisture, and then I fed her. I just fed her a couple big flakes of hay kind of thing. They sure are quiet now. It's good. It's been a couple hours. They should be pretty quiet. So I actually prepared a little bit for this live stream because I didn't think that everybody would have so many questions. So I'm going to answer a few of them while we relax. I've got just a little bit more time. My feet are getting cold though, I got to admit. Chilly. So, okay. So I had a great question that came in the comment section that I thought I would answer. I think that might be interesting for anybody who's thinking about they were doing well for a bit till Yoka had to tell Mr. Wild to take a hike. He's off on his own again. He'll sort that out. It's good for him. It's good practice. Oh, here she comes. What is she gonna do? She's telling Gracie, all the horses in the middle, get moving. It's exercise time. Gracie's back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Yoka says, stay away. Back to her Luke. Look at that, she brought Gracie over. Fascinating. Why? That doesn't matter. Okay. How did you know how big to make the arena and the paddocks was the question. That's a great question. Because it sure was a conundrum in the beginning of what to do. Roddy's rules out. Have a good week. Thanks, you too. And the idea in the beginning of how to build this place out, it's not very wide. It's only 160 feet wide, but it's really long. So it was limited on what could be done anyways. And the space where the arena is now had already been an arena in the past. Not a very good one, but at least it was partially cleared. There was a lot of foliage here, so a lot had to be cleared out. So I knew where the arena was going to go, and then I knew, just zoom out a little bit here. I don't know if I can zoom out far enough. You can see the arena here, and then off to the side, I knew that I wanted the paddocks to sort of surround the arena, so that when I'm working, all the horses that are just kind of hanging out, maybe eating, maybe just hanging out, they could still look in and see what's going on. So I wasn't. Okay, sound is on now. Yeah, it should be on. I think the battery is dying. Where did I leave off? So I wasn't was. Where did I get to? I wonder. Battery's not dying. I still got lots of battery left. Well, thanks for letting me know the sound went out. Explaining the paddocks around the side. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, so the paddocks around the side were built this way so that I could have all the horses watch. And I wasn't going to be able to build another arena over there. Yeah. So, and then the arena itself was defined by, I'll say it again, of the ditch that's here, that's the property line there, and the cedar tree here. So I couldn't go any wider than that. And then the length was determined because of the way the property slopes, like the slope that we have here. If I'd put the arena any more this way towards us, then this slope would have been too steep. This slope right here for the driveway. And then the back of the arena was just determined. I think I said, I just figured 180 feet seemed fine to me, so that's what I did. So everything sort of got built around that in the end. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah. Hopefully I was able to explain that even with the mic going out. And the horses are statues, so that probably doesn't help at all either, does it? Oh, they're moving a bit. So, seems like the audio is a little bit behind from the live stream that I'm seeing. Oh, Gracie's got to move. Mr. Wild's got her moving around. Boy, she's got a lot of energy. Huh. It's quite the rear. I want to get that in slow motion. I want to capture some slow-mo of her rearing up, but it is really unusual to get a perfect rear up like that. I'd have to just be out there all the time. Slow-mo video takes up a lot of space on memory cards, so it's not really easy. Okay, another very, very common question. Will Annie grow taller? Yes, Annie will get much bigger. You know, you'd think that's the way that that barrow was smashed. He just keeps hitting it. Is the property line? Yes, the property line is literally right here. Like it's right on the edge. Like there's a ditch that's on beside the arena there that allows for the runoff. Well, the other side of that ditch is the property line. So no space for anything over there. I maxed it out. Yes, Annie will grow taller because she is not even 2 yet. So she's got a lot of growth left to go. She will grow for another 5 years. I don't know about taller. She'll probably grow taller for the next few years, and then she'll just fill out. All her bones will fuse. The ones that are supposed to fuse will fuse, and then she'll just become a beautiful. I think she's gonna be pretty big. She's gonna be a good 15 hens. I don't know. That's pretty big. That's a good size. Rooney. Okay. Do horses get tired of learning? Fantastic question. Because there's plenty of people that will comment on how long you should teach a horse for, how long a lesson should go for, and stuff like that. But look at Yoka, Luke, and Annie at the back, still wandering around, still doing things, still talking to each other, still communicating. And it's been a couple hours, right? So I think that horses can get tired of learning depending on how you teach them. So there you go. If you do it in a way that is a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit less stressful, then you're not going to wear them out or tire them out. You will instead sort of engage them in mutual conversation, and it'll be kind of fun. Luke's having a roll, and Annie's right next to him. I wonder if he's frustrated by that, like he's hoping, I just want to roll all the way over. Then Yoka comes on the other side. Have you ever thought about making a calendar with the pictures of the horses? I have, but I haven't found a good supplier for calendars. Something that would be cost effective for everybody. I have though. Yep, that would be nice. I agree. I had a request to make a video on how to conquer your fear of cantering. Annie always does that, eh? She's always got a roll wherever somebody else rolled. Luke rolled there, Annie's like, my turn. Big shake. That's cool. So, conquering your fear of cantering comes with practice of walking and trotting. And having the confidence because your walking and trotting is really precise. So you ask for a walk and they walk. You ask for a turn while you're walking, no problems. Left-hand turns, right-hand turns. Then you do it at a trot. You make sure that your trot is really precise. And with that confidence, you'll just naturally kind of pick up to a canter, and then you can come back down to a trot because you'll have that control. The other thing that I kind of recommend a little bit is, and it's one of the reasons why this arena, speaking of the arena, is a bit graded. It actually has a bit of a slant to it, so you have to come uphill from the bottom. Is to start a canter on an uphill. It's easier to balance. If you can make it easier for your body, if your balance is kind of a little bit better, then you will probably have more confidence and reduce the amount of fear that you have to do a certain activity. So stack the deck in your favor, and I think it'll go well. What else have I got? Have you ever had a horse injured by a kick? That's a good question. Yep, quite a few horses have been mildly injured through maybe a bit of a hematoma in their chest. But the biggest injury that we had was Macaroni. He got kicked in the pastern by another horse, and I had to stitch him up. Well, I didn't stitch him up. I had to take him to the vet, get him stitched up. I think it was about 10 stitches. So that was the biggest injury. I guess he was having a kicking contest with another horse, and that horse clipped his pastern with their foot. And that happens. I've seen horses kick each other's hooves. They both kick out, and that happens. So, but that's about it. It's very unusual to see too many injuries. Horses are pretty good with each other, unless they really don't like each other. It's unusual. Another good question was, can a horse be trained to or by voice? I think yes. I think 100%. Just takes a bit of practice and consistency, and you can absolutely train a horse to voice. Some people have asked, will they come to you if you call them by their name? I think maybe. But if Luke makes a mess of that, I'm going to go over there and cut his leg off. Oh, he heard me. He didn't make a mess of it. What's this guy want? What do you want? He's probably wants back. He's like, okay, I've had enough. It's been a couple hours. I can go back and eat. We'll get to that pretty quick. So yeah, consistency is vital. You absolutely have to if you say no, you better mean no. If you say yes, then you mean yes. You say thank you, it's going to be followed up with a pat on the nose or something like that. Like, all of these things can mean something to horses. Tone matters as well, because I don't think that they pick out particular sounds overly well. And so in turn, I don't think that horses respond to their names. Like, if I were to call out Lena or Gina or Tina, I think it would all be very close to the same. So Missy says, how's the injury to your face? It's great. It has finally stopped hurting to the touch or the press, I guess is the way to put it. Like, if I press on it, it used to hurt. And now it does not. So, quite happy with that. It's still a tiny bump, just like the scar bump. Like the scar itself is a bit of a bump. If I really kind of push it around, I can feel a little bit of pain, but mostly nothing. Yeah, thanks for asking, and it is feeling better, thank you. Do you cut your horse's tails? Is another question that I get a bit often. Not too often, but I do not. I never cut my horse's tails unless we're making bracelets. But for lengthwise, I never really get concerned. I don't worry about it. I have never had an issue with a horse because they've stepped on a few strands of their tail. Because what will happen is horses will just naturally step on their tails a little bit, just a couple of strands at a time. It's like horses' tails don't grow down at one length unless you cut it to one length. So I think that horses that have their tails cut to one length might have a problem. Might. I'm not really sure. But because horses' tails grow so haphazardly, they really only like pull out a hair or two here and there, and then it just keeps the long ones out and the shorter ones just there. So they all stay the length that they're supposed to stay. Or the hair just falls out. Like, I've never seen Roni's tail reach the ground. It just is always whatever length it gets to, and it just falls out. So I think everybody's thinking of coming back. They're all coming up to the front. Let's go eat some food. Melissa's here. Hello, Melissa. Thanks, Lindy. Yes, yeah, it is better. Xtinet says, thanks for sharing the horses. Absolutely. Lena, don't chew on that. She might think that Lena means stop it, because I started to get up and she saw me getting up Yeah, I think I covered most of the questions that I was going to cover. There's a bunch of hoof ones, but I think I'll do that in a different video. But the last question was, does a horse process things? It's an interesting thought because we're sort of trained in the horse world that when a horse, I mean, it's fairly often said that when a horse is licking and chewing, they're processing. And I'm not of that belief. I think that when a horse is licking and chewing and releasing their jaw and licking their lips for moisture, I see it as simply that. They're finally able to release their jaw from being clenched, and they're finally able to lick their lips because they weren't able to do it. So I think that horses process right in the moment. I don't think that they need a moment to process. I think they need a moment to calm down so you can reset and start again. But I don't think horses necessarily process something. Yes, Gracie is like a satellite, isn't she? She's just constantly revolving around these Roni and Lena. I wonder if Lena provides any protection per se. Bit of a blocker. Maybe not. She doesn't really do anything when Gracie gets chased off. So, yeah, so I think that when a horse is learning, they're learning in the moment. So that's why it's up to us to be a higher level teacher. Hence the response about pressure and release and how we should treat it. Oh, Mr. Wild thought she'd take a nibble out of Annie while Luke was taking a nibble out of Annie. She taught them both and ran off. Sort of. Not really. So I think that might be it. I'm going to have to go warm up a little bit, and I'll put the horses in pretty soon so they can go back to eating. A lot of good exercise and socialization today. Fascinating, great questions from everybody. Good input, great back and forth. Oh, Nanette said, I brought some honey home from back east. Going over the Rockies made the tops pop off the jars. Messy. Yeah, Naomi's here. Hello, Naomi. Just listening. Fascinating, so much info. Yeah. Atmospheric pressure is fascinating. It's really cool stuff. So, okay. I'm going to call it at that. Again, absolutely great to have you all here. It's been really good to chit chat and answer questions and talk about some stuff and a little back and forth. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed the horses playing around and goofing off. It looks like they're not done goofing off. So, oh, here they come. And Yoka just comes up from behind. Wait up, guys. Okay, everybody, you're very welcome. I hope you all have a great day, a fantastic Sunday, if it's still Sunday for you. It is for me. I got another half day to go. So it's been good. Thank you very much. And I will see you guys in the next one.